So we're starting with cuts, just warming up the wrists, right? We draw X's in the air with our saber. Right, warm up with down cuts. Down cuts meaning from the shoulder to the waist, from the shoulder to the waist. That means the blade is pointing and cutting downward in that motion, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, and we try to do both hands. We don't do double-handed weapons, except in master's class and in black sash class, black sash and up. But it is also important because in the set is not only down cuts but also up cuts. That means from the hip to the shoulder where the blade is pointing upward, right? So 1, 2, we want to get these smooth, and we try to get them smooth on both hands, right? Even though most of the time in Kung Fu, if you're holding one weapon, that weapon is held in the right hand. Most weapon forms in Kung Fu are right hand dominant. Sorry for you left-handers. Just get really good at doing right-handed martial arts. Makes for an interesting martial arts, the left-handed. Right-handed swordsman, but left-handed everything else. Right. Fighting and right. Alright, let's get started and run the set. If you are at home and you don't have this, don't have the, this is not a good idea. Okay. And you, don't have the space in your house to swing a saber. I was doing it with my saber. You don't have the space to swing a saber. You don't have permission from your parents to swing a saber inside, or you just don't want to. The best thing you can do, if you're going to, be sure to grab and hold the saber at hilt at all times. Try not to let it slip out of your hand and get really close to the end. This is the danger zone. This is very likely to let it slip out of your hand, especially as you practice and the hand gets a little sweaty. If you just don't want to do that at all, if you notice, your saber is about the same shape as a thumb. Same shape as your thumb. So it's kind of like holding your saber, a very small saber. And you can do your cuts the same. It actually helps with understanding how the saber's motion works, because that is the same way that you would want the blade to follow. So if you want to use your thumb, you can use your thumb, follow up with your thumb. And then soft, you go stand over there. So you have space. Right. Right. Just don't cut. Let's just stand.
Yes, sir.
Stand tall.
Yes, sir.
1. If you notice, the first 2 moves of saber are just like the 5-animal salute, just for the saber. 2. Grab saber. You're going to point down. Lift the left knee because it already doesn't have weight in it. We're doing a chair cat stance, so this leg is light anyway. 4. Horse. 5. Right knee up. 6. 7. Step out. 8. Shift back. 9. Press for 10. And now we're going to jump or skip by double, it's called double bow. So you double jump. 1, 2, double knees, and press. Block up and behind you. Turn the body, and you're going to slice down. You're going to keep the saber at a 90-degree angle of your arm. So we're not going to cut through, because this isn't a katana. It's a saber, so it slices. It does not penetrate and slice through. So we're going to slice. We just want the edge of the blade to touch. Turn and slice. Shift up and block. Now, we're going to jump under our arm. Pretend, right, if your sword and your arm created a doorway, you're going to jump under that in a monkey hop. So, jump and spin. 1, 2 steps. Your saber also spun as you spun, so you're going to continue to spin and pull the saber to your hip. Palm out. Pull and strike. You set?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you pull and strike, you're simulating blocking or evading a spear. Most of the time that traditionally when sabers were used, they were used as short-range weapons against long-range weapons, which were spears. That's a long stick with a knife at the end. So to get in close, they send somebody with a saber and fast hands to block the tip and then step in. One way that we are doing that, by bringing the hand up, this is simulating a block, pulling and striking. Forward is a block, and then you're going to slide under, 1, 2, that's how we step in. And then here, we're pulling back and blocking, but we may have missed. So if we missed, we're going to turn our body, right, kind of evade and strike. Now because we still want to be balanced, we're not going to step on a line and make ourselves too conventional. We're going to still step with space between our legs so it can be balanced, but you're blocking. You're evading and striking. All right?
Yes, sir.
Let's give it a try. 1. Get this one. 2. Grab 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Big block. Make sure that you're blocking the saber with the back, with the palm, the bottom of your palm. Never the middle and never the fingers. Shift back. Press. If you have a hard time pulling your saber, think bridge arm out. And it doesn't have to be right behind you. It can be here. Comfortable for the shoulder. And jump. Press. Feet together. Now if I have space, I'm going to try to do a couple of these toward the camera so you can see kind of how it looks coming from one other direction. So we're here, chamber, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is what we're about to get to, and 10. The double front jump kick. Boom! Let's give it a try.
Start.
We're going to get up to that point. Then we're going to stop. We're going to break down the double front a little bit, and then go on.
Start.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, look at that knee, do those stances, 6, lift that knee, 7, 8, 9, 10. You lift your knee too. Well, not now, because we're in cat stance. 1. It's a bow stance, that's a good one. Back leg is straight. Very good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pull back, and strike. 7, 8. Cut and lift the right knee. And 9 and 10 double front. Feet together.
Yes, sir.
Now I want you to come over here and bring your saber, set your saber down. Because we're going to work on how to have really nice balance for that one. 1, so that we don't twist our ankle or land wrong. And 2, so that it just looks really clean when it's performed. And it also just helps with sparring. It helps in general just have better balance. So if you can jump off of one leg and land on the other, I want you to give it a try. So from here, the same way we do like southern legs or any of our crane basics, you have to jump, and you land on the other leg, twisted, right? The same way we do our side kick. That's not that hard, is it?
Yes, sir.
No. Now, if we do a double front jump kick, we want to stand square, pretend that we have our saber in our hand by having a fist over our chest. We're going to lift the right knee. This is what we're doing. Okay? So we're lifting, and I want you to step, and I want you to try to land really straight, try to kick your shoulders down, be straight, chamber the other hand. We always, anytime we have a saber in our hand, we simulate having a saber. We chamber the hand or prayer position so that we don't get in the habit of cutting our hand off. Right? So we want to be aware of the fact that we have another hand that we would like to keep, even though we have a saber and we're really excited.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So we're here, right knee's up. We're going to step, lift both, double, kick. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Reset.
Yes, sir.
Step forward. The best thing you can do for your balance is bend the knees as soon as the foot touches the ground, right? So we're here, we're being straight. Now we're going to step. Yes, right. You sink into it, step, and we're going to jump. Yes, very good. Now it's not like gymnastics. You don't have to land and stick it. But you do want to land with the knee bent so that you can be balanced. So it looks like I did that. That's not what happened. So here, step, the knees are bent. Save yourself, right? Lift. Woo! Try again.
Yes, sir.
Step. And kick. Be straight, be straight, be straight, be straight. Yes. Now, that wears out the hip flex, so just shake that out. The next thing is the turnaround. Get it nice and smooth and not falling over. It's really fun and kick butt, right? When you do it, kick butt, it's like, shoo! And you're all ready. So these fours have a lot of grip, and it doesn't really matter any type of shoe you have on, but especially the baby use, especially if they're new, you have a lot of grip. It's hard to pivot. If you're at home and you're on carpet, or you're on wood floors or tiles, it's probably be very easy, more so than usual. Don't spin out and hurt yourself. But here we're going to hold the knee up, and we have to dip the leg and then bring it right back up. So essentially we do this while pivoting on this standing foot. So we're going to dip, pivot on the ball of the foot, and try to come up straight. Now, the better you can throw it back and the faster you can tuck it back in, like bring it back to center, the nicer the snap will be. Okay? So after we've kicked, we'll simulate, right? Boom, nice pretty kick, and we'll go 1. Yes. Now, I'm going to give you a second to practice it on your own, but I want you to take one leg and pull that back, stretch that out, space out, and we're going to try it just a few times on our own. And if you want, even though it doesn't happen in the form, you can even do it with your left leg. To even it out, lift the left leg, you're going to dip and turn. Try to do it nice and smooth. Push up when you stand. So you don't. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, give it a try.
Yes, sir.
Give it a try. Take it back and really clean. I'll try to like this. Yeah, like that. That looks really nice when you're done with the arm. So pause. This is one tip. If you're doing this at home, especially if you're doing it at home, one tip that you can do is you always want to slow down so that you can speed up. And that's something Master Gohring says a lot. Slow down to speed up. So slow down. It's not how many times, but how well. So I want you to slow down and make sure that you're balanced before you even leave the ground or before you even begin to spin. So if I'm standing here and I step forward, I want to make sure that this is balanced because we'll step and we'll just go. So pause for a second, shift, and really lean, get all the way on the toe, the ball of the front foot, and you're going to lift that knee. 1, 2. Be still. You can do a little hop if you really have to adjust. This next part, you're going to dip the leg and snap it back up as quick as possible. So we're going 1, 2. If you really want to get it down, is to find a spot directly behind you to stare at. So it's called spotting. So if I was going to kick you, I would turn and look first and then kick. I wouldn't turn and kick. Or I wouldn't kick as I turn. So, same thing is true here. The knee is up. I'm going to dip and turn. Dip. Snap back up. Right? Give it a try one more time.
Sir.
Be balanced first. Be balanced first. Go. Yes. Good. Okay, now let's run it again.
Yes, sir.
hour sabers. You got time to run it for 1 mile. That's the train, aka my cheat. So that rumble that you hear is just me getting started because class wasn't long enough. I won't quit my day job. Okay, sit.
Yes, sir.
Stand tall.
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Feet together.
Sir.